A freezing wind whipped through the small suburban street as the police lights flashed red and blue against the walls of the old grocery store. Inside the police car sat a young girl, no older than 10. Her eyes were wet, not from fear, but from the sting of being mocked. "Your mom's in special forces?" The officer outside leaned on the car door, chuckling as if he had just heard the funniest joke. "Kid, you shouldn't lie to cover for your parents. Where's your dad? Where's your real guardian?" The girl swallowed hard, her tiny fists clenched. "I'm telling the truth. My mom is strong. She's not here because she's working. She saves people." But the more she explained, the more the officer laughed, waving his hand dismissively. "Yeah, sure. Next you'll tell me she's Superman too." The girl turned away, staring at the flashing lights, her chest tight with frustration. She wasn't lying. She knew who her mother was, what her mother had done. Every night she prayed for her safe return, and every morning she carried the weight of missing her. What the cop didn't know was that the girl's mother, Sergeant Alicia Carter, had served nearly 15 years in the Special Forces, deploying to dangerous missions no one else dared to take. She carried scars on her body and deeper ones on her soul, but she never spoke about her work to strangers. Her daughter was the only one she opened up to, quietly sharing stories of resilience and hope. That night, fate had arranged a meeting no one expected. As the officer continued laughing with his partner, a tall figure appeared at the end of the street. Boots hit the pavement with steady precision, her posture commanding. A duffel bag slung over her shoulder, she looked worn yet unshakable. The girl's eyes lit up instantly. "Mom," she shouted, her voice cracking with relief. The officers turned, their smirks fading as they saw the figure approaching. She was in civilian clothes, but there was no mistaking her presence. Her stride was that of someone who had walked through war zones, who knew danger by name and never flinched. Sergeant Alicia Carter stopped right in front of the laughing cop. Her eyes locked onto his, sharp and unyielding. "Is there a reason my daughter is sitting in your car?" she asked, her tone calm but carrying an edge that silenced the street. The officer cleared his throat, suddenly unsure of himself. "Ah, she said you were military, special forces. We thought she was making things up." Alicia didn't blink. She slowly pulled an ID from her jacket pocket and held it up, the official seal gleaming under the streetlight. "I don't lie, and neither does my daughter." The officer's face turned pale as he read it, realizing every word the girl had spoken was true. His laughter now felt like poison in his throat. He looked down, shame creeping over him. The girl ran into her mother's arms, burying her face into the warmth she had missed for so long. Alicia held her tightly, whispering, "I'm here now, baby. You did good. You told the truth." But the story didn't end with embarrassment for the officer. It turned into something bigger. The community, which had doubted and sometimes dismissed the girl because of her quiet confidence in her mother, now saw the truth. They saw the sacrifices her mother had made not just for her child, but for the country. Still, Alicia didn't scold the officer. Instead, she looked him in the eye and said softly, "The next time a child tells you something about their family, remember this moment. Respect costs nothing, but it can mean everything." The officer nodded, humbled. He had learned more in those few minutes than in years on the job. Over time, the girl's pride in her mother only grew. She faced whispers at school, people who had once teased her for making things up, but she held her head high. Whenever she felt small, she remembered the night her mother walked down that street, fearless, unshaken, and living proof that strength doesn't always look the way people expect. The challenge for them wasn't just battling doubt from others, it was surviving long separations, enduring loneliness, and proving their worth in a world too quick to judge. Yet together, they rose above it. Years later, that little girl stood at a podium during a school speech. Her voice rang with clarity as she said, "Never let anyone laugh at your truth, because one day, your truth might just walk into the room and change everything." The audience clapped, many wiping their eyes. Her mother watched from the front row, her heart swelling with pride. And for the rest of her life, that little girl carried the lesson her mother gave her, that courage isn't only about facing enemies on a battlefield, It's about standing tall when the world doubts you and never letting laughter crush your truth.